Well, hello there, everyone. Hopefully this finds you doing well. It is Tuesday, March the 15th, and hopefully you have started investing. I'm going to talk about a couple different things here. Be sure to stick around to the end because I'm going to cover various nuggets of information through here from my perception. Okay, I'm going to cover real quick something. We have a lot of new subscribers, so thank you. I appreciate anyone who subscribes. I really appreciate anyone who watches. Anyone who likes my videos, anyone who comments. Thank you all so much. All right, so if you're fairly new here, you may not realize this, but I have videos I made a while back. Because I know if I make them every day, they add up pretty quick. You know, I got 200 some videos here right now. But if I have some playlists, okay? But I made a series, I think 4 or 5 videos where I talked about how I went from 0 rentals to 25 rentals in 4 years. 4 years. I'm going to cover that real quick in a nutshell, just in a nutshell, 2-3 minutes. But look at my playlist, pull up, I forget what I call it, 1 to 25, 0 to 25 in 4 years. And I go into more detail. It's 4 or 5 videos, I go into more detail. But basically, when I bought my first rental house, January 2017, I had maybe $25-ish thousand in the bank. And I got the idea of getting a HELOC and using that HELOC to partially fund my first down payment. I bought a house for about $100,000. I put 25% down because I didn't know anything about running numbers or anything about real estate. I put 25% down, and that was $25,000 roughly with closing cost. So I used a HELOC for $17,000 or $18,000 towards that down payment. Then I tried to pay that HELOC off as quick as I could. I bought my second house in December of that same year. So first year, 2017, I bought 2 houses. When I bought that second house, I think I once again used a HELOC to help me out a little bit, but then I had some cash. I started saving cash more so. So I had cash, used that for my down payment. Same deal, $100,000 house, but I put 20% down, which means a little bit less money out of pocket. Then the following year, I bought a triplex, and I had bought it a month or so after I retired from police work, and I had a 457 plan. With a 457 plan, when you retire, quit, resign, get fired, if you have one, you have access to the money without paying a 10% penalty. So I withdrew the 457 plan, paid federal tax and state tax, which was a chunk, and used the rest of the money for a down payment on buying a triplex. Okay, so that funded that triplex. Next house was one down in Alabama. It was a cheaper house, $45,000. I got a mortgage on it, so the down payment on a $45,000 house is much cheaper than a down payment on a $100,000 house. And the house needed a new roof, so myself and the seller, we split the cost of a roof separately. So it was like $4,000 for a roof, $2,000, $2,200 to split the cost. So at the end of the second year, I had 6 doors, okay, 6 units, triplex and 3 single-family homes. That was in 2018. In 2019, let's see, in that year I did a couple things. I found out about self-directed IRAs. I have videos talking about self-directed IRAs. And as much as it paid me to do so, I sold stocks in my Roth, some of those stocks I had held for 10, 15 years, Amazon, Google, Netflix, different things. Sold stocks and transferred the cash over to a self-directed IRA. And I bought a single-family home in that IRA. All right. Later in that same year, I sold the second house I bought in 2017 in December. I sold that because I knew prices had gone up and I got it at a good deal. So I sold it, made a profit, and got back my 20% down payment. And it was about 60-ish thousand, 65,000 that I got back. So I used that money to buy 4 houses. All right. So I got 4 houses. And I want to speed things up here. So real quick then, as time went on, I found a gentleman selling house with seller financing. I did a cashback refinance on my triplex and my first single family home. I took out, again, $65,000 I got back, and I used that to buy 9 houses using seller financing because they were cheaper houses, cheaper down payments. So I got 9 houses. I also got a house along the way in my wife's self-directed IRA. I also bought 2 houses off the MLS. I also bought 2 more houses. One I paid cash for and one I got a mortgage for that my property manager found. They had a contact that got those. And then I bought a couple houses in Chicago, and I'm currently working on buying a house, paying cash for a house up in Indiana. And I may have covered all 25 there. I'm not sure. But I did recently sell my triplex in December of last year, okay? So my 2 houses in Chicago, my last one in Indiana, that's 3 more. That kind of replaced the triplex, all right? So I'm back to 25. On Friday, when I close on that house, I'm back to 25. So watch my playlist, 4 or 5 videos. I go into much more detail of how each process worked. All right, second part of this video, I'm going to talk about W-2 income. There was a comment on my video about how much W-2 income do I think a person needs to accumulate properties at a reasonable rate, like to accumulate maximum properties at a reasonable rate. That's a very broad question because depending on where a person is at in this country, people get paid differently. Houses cost a different amount. So all I can do is generalize, okay? All I can do is generalize, but I'm going to generalize this way. I'm on record with saying that any working American, as long as they work a job, can buy a rental house. I will stick with that. If someone is working, if they are able to work, that means they can work more than one job if needed, all right, to get more income. Say they're working a low-paying job. Work 2 low-paying jobs and you got more money, all right? And then also look at house hacking because you can, when you house hack, you might buy a duplex, triplex, quadplex. And if you're living in it, you get first-time home FHA loans or something like that, or maybe you put down 3.5%, 5%. So it can be more expensive, like $200,000, but you're putting 3.5% down. It's a much smaller down payment. All right. And anybody out there, I'll repeat, anybody out there who wants to get started in real estate investing, or maybe somebody who's just gotten started and they've run out of cash and they own a house that they live in, just a single family home they live in. Like if I was starting right now, I have this house, I got a mortgage on it, I got this house, but there's equity in it. If knowing what I know now, I'd sell this house in a heartbeat. I'd sell it in a heartbeat, even though I love this house, it's on the water, I got a pool, I love it. I'd sell it in a heartbeat. Should I repeat myself again? I'd sell it in a heartbeat because I could take the cash and I could go buy a bunch of rental property. I would leave this expensive area and go to a cheaper area, and I could buy a duplex, triplex, quadplex using first-time home buyers type loan, get a cheap down payment, stay there a year. I got multiple cash flow coming in from my multifamily unit. I do it again. I do it again. I do it again. You don't need a lot of W-2 income. Okay, and I'll repeat that. You do not need a lot of W-2 income. You have to be creative. If you watch my playlist of 1 to 25, I did not have a lot of W-2 income. I topped out in 2018 making $52,000 a year. 1998, I started making $23,000 a year. I never made a lot of money. Okay, granted, my wife started working full-time midway through my police career, about 10 years into my police career. And by doing that, that increased her income. But she was a factory worker. She wasn't a white-collar worker. We didn't make a huge income. We did not make a lot of money. We had 2 sons. When I first started working, I had a German Shepherd, a cat, and 2 parakeets, and a house that cost me, with a VA loan, $92,000 that I struggled to pay that mortgage with. Okay, my paycheck, one paycheck would be my mortgage, and the other paycheck covered heat, electricity, gas, water, sewer, food for 2 little kids, food for a German Shepherd that's 105 pounds, food for a cat, food for 2 parakeets, and food for mom and dad. And that means mom and dad did not buy new clothes. We did not buy new nothing because money was so tight. Dad worked as much overtime as he could. When mom took a part-time job at a YMCA making $100 a week, I could breathe. That $100 a week allowed me to breathe a bit because it helped. All right. So I'll go on record again with saying a person does not need a lot of W-2 income to invest in real estate. Now, with that being said, I'll guarantee you, in a way, I'll make up a number because I don't know this figure. 90% of Americans will never buy rental property. All 90% of Americans could watch this video and say, Mazke's full of it. I can't do this. And it's that mindset up there. The mindset, I can't do this. And they won't do it. You got to have the mindset, I can do it. I'm on record several videos back with saying, I set a goal, I want a monthly income of $25,000. All right? I didn't say, oh, that's insurmountable. Oh, that's too much. That's my goal. And by golly, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. I set a goal, I think, of September 1st, 2023. I don't know if I'll get there by that date. I might get there sooner. I might get there a little bit later. But I'm going to do it. How do I know I'm going to do it? Because I'm going to do it. I just know I'm going to do it. I am buying more rental properties. I'm buying oil. I'm buying mineral rights. As the revenue comes in, yes, I'm putting some in my pocket. I'm buying a dock that's going out there. Hopefully in the next week or two it'll start. I may upgrade my inflatable kayak to another kayak. Okay, even though my inflatable is a very nice kayak, I want to add to my collection of kayaks. I don't know if I'm getting a boat yet. I want to keep growing for a while. All right, I may rehab my pool though. But I'm going to take most of the money I get in. I live paycheck to paycheck. I live cheap because I have a lot of expenses going on. I'm paying insurance. I'm paying taxes. I'm paying mortgages. I'm paying rehabs. I'm paying more rehabs. I'm paying more rehabs. I'm paying this. I'm paying that. So I live as cheap as possible. Okay, and I will keep doing that. I just had a gentleman here, pest control, spraying my house, and he was like, Mazske, you got a really nice house here. Mazske, you've done really good. You got a lot of beautiful plants. You got a great fence there. You've done this, you've done that. We didn't discuss my channel. We didn't discuss finances at all, but it's like, Mazske did it because Mazske put his mind to it. Mr. and Mrs. Mazske put their minds to it. And we put our mind to something, we're going to get it done. All right? So if you're watching this, get it done. Get it done. However you got to do it. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you live at. I don't know what part of the country you're in. I do know some of you, okay? But with that being said, if you want to be a multimillionaire, well, by golly, take the first step. It's not that hard. Take that first step. If you got to sell your house that you live in to buy a multifamily unit, then do it. If you got to sell the vehicle you drive to buy a cheaper one, do it. There's a gentleman I've had on my channel, Cowboy. Cowboy's a police officer. He has 4 or 5 rental properties. Cowboy walks to work. And I forget how far he walks, but he walks to work. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cowboy, but isn't it like a mile or so? And you walk to work, okay? He saves money that way. You got to do what you got to do. If you want to be an investor, and you want to get into the top 10% net worth, and you want to get a monthly income that beats your W-2 income, then you got to pull the belt tighter, cinch it up. And when it's cinched up, pull it tighter. Squeeze that gut in. Pull it tighter. Because live like you're poor, and you will become wealthy. All right? All right. Does that make sense? All right. I do this intentionally sometimes. I go on a rant. I knew I had a lot to cover, and I didn't want to make this video too long, so I covered a lot of ground. All right? Play it again if I talk too fast, because I know I might mutter at times or stumble over my words, and then if I talk fast, I might trip over words and fall down. So anyway, hopefully you got something out of it. Just do the best you can. As Dion said, let's make a t-shirt. Let's get started, or just get started. Just take that first step. Just take that first step. All right? And you'll thank yourself in the future for taking that first step. All right? Good enough. Mazske's signing out.